Blog Talk Radio.
Unmarket Your Business, the podcast. Born out of the need to share strategies and techniques that really work to market your business. Think yellow page ads and cold calls are your only choices? That's so last century. You're about to learn tested, tried and true marketing techniques you can apply and master, ones that feel authentic instead of salesy, strategies that are true to who you are and how you want to present yourself to your ideal clients. Let's join our host, Carol Joyce Dunlop, in the studio now and allow business success to move forward. Hey everyone, this is Carol J. Dunlop, your hostess with the mostest today for the Unmarket Your Business podcast. I'm so very excited on so many levels. I just am about to scream here. I'm hearing that song by the Pointer Sisters. I'm so excited, just going over and over and over and over in my head because today is the pre-launch. Starts a pre-launch for my book. I am so excited about it, and I want you to be able to get a copy. And guess what I'm doing? Just for you, just for the people who are within the sound of my voice, which means you listen to the show regularly. You're either listening live or you have downloaded it to listen. And hopefully you've been a regular listener. But if not, welcome, welcome, welcome. I have something very special for you. And if you go to bit.ly/unmarket book, you can get the book it's going to be released officially October 30th. So you'll get a pre-order or a pre-sale of the book. And just because you're getting this first before anyone knows anything about it, I'm going to give you two awesome bonuses. So when I actually release the paperback version of the book, when it actually officially launches on October 30th, which is just a couple of weeks from now, if you purchase the book between now and then you will also get the ebook version, absolutely free. That's included. And if you purchase right now, you will also, I tell you, it's just too much. You will also get the first 3 chapters, so you can go ahead and start reading. I think that'll hold you. I mean, the book is an easy read. It has a lot of information in there, and you're going to do some work. So I'm pretty sure you'll finish it before the book actually launches, but this is something to kind of keep you from going crazy. But again, if you go to bit.ly/unmarketbook, and the unmarket, the U, the N, and the M are capitalized, and the B is capitalized. So it's unmarket book, capital UNM, and then there's a capital B, bit.ly. Please go there. You will be able to, as I said, get the ebook version will be sent to you as a gift, as a bonus when the book launches. So you'll be able to get the actual paperback book that will be mailed to you, and then you'll get the actual ebook. But right away, you will be able to get the first 3 chapters. Like as soon as you hit that purchase button and the next thing you see, you will get that information, plus it'll be emailed to you. So thank you so much in advance. I know a lot of people have been telling me they cannot wait for the book to come out. They're ready. I'm telling you, no one is happier than I am that this book is finally launching. It's been a lot of work, a lot of great work, a lot of my heart and soul and sweat and blood and tears and everything has gone into this. So I am so doggone excited. Okay, that's the number one thing that I'm excited about. Number 2 is that I had a speaking engagement, and if you've been following me for a little bit, you know that I wrote the book so that I could up my speaking game and get that rolling. And I had a speaking engagement last weekend. Yay! I spoke at Springfield Baptist Church. It was awesome, and I talked about how you can market your business on a shoestring budget. Everybody there. I want to shout out to everyone, especially Shermanetta Carter, who invited me, and Bernadette Harris, who recommended me for that. We had a blast. It was so much fun, and I was able to share a lot of great tips from the book, of course, about how people can actually market the book on a shoestring budget. And if you've been following me, you know that's all I talk about. Shoestring budget, how to market your book so you don't have to pay a lot of money. So why should you, empty the bank just to market your business when you're trying to get some business so it can help you stay on your own and not go back to the JOB world? I can't go back to the JOB, I tell you what. Okay, the the second part of the second thing that I'm excited about is this weekend I am speaking in Philadelphia at the Lift Conference. Remember we had Renelli Williams and Kim Jones on a few weeks ago, and they were talking about the Lift Conference. It is a 2-day event extravaganza. It's going to be totally awesome. And if you still want to go, I think you still probably will be able to get tickets. I'm saying that, I'm hoping. And that is liftconference2017.com. Again, Lift, L-I-F-T, conference2017.com. And you can see me there. Some of the people that I know are going to be there, they are traveling either up from Atlanta or they are actually traveling, from the Philadelphia area, and I know them, like my client and friend of the show, Eugenia Trailblazer Rucker, is going to be there. So I am excited about that. And I'm going to be talking about collaboration, my 7-step collaboration success strategy that I'm going to share with you today. So you get to get peeped on it, but I'm going to go into much more detail at the Lift Conference because I can't spill all the beans because that will be the first time I'm actually presenting this. And I've been working my tail off to get this done. So I've got 7 pieces of information, but if you want to actually, let's see, you can get this strategy if you meet me in Philly this weekend, or if you buy the book, because it's in the book too. That's actually where I got it from. I have to say the best thing that I found about writing a book, and I have 10 strategies in there, and each strategy is its own chapter, and that's like part 2 of the book. But part 1 is like the preface to get you ready for part 2. It talks about how you figure out who your audience is, what they want, and how you're going to serve them. And then part 3 is kind of like after you've gotten all this information for these strategies, what do you do with it now? How do you move forward? And what are the experts in the field talking about? What are they saying is going to happen with things like social media, content marketing, live streaming, video marketing, all that great stuff that's going on. So I did. I covered all the aspects, like you need to get ready. That's in part 1. Part 2, here's what you need to do. And then part 3, okay, you got the information, let's go. And I wanted to make sure, in order to make sure that you really, really, really got the best of this, I actually created a 90-day success roadmap that goes along with the book, and that will be available once the book comes out, and I'll have a bundle so that you can get, I'll have some goodies for you. There's an ebook coming out with it. There's, of course, so if you don't want to actually purchase and wait to be mailed your book, you can get the ebook version, but if you actually want a real book in your hand, you can get the paperback version. Let's say that either one of them, you want the real let's get it done version, so then you need to get the workbook that goes along with it. And I've just, put everything I could into it so that you have no excuse. You have no excuse not to be successful, not to be a successful entrepreneur and business owner. So all these things, and without breaking the bank, because I've done all of this for the last 23 years in running my business, and I have not broken the bank. I mean, I've had to go in and get some money out of the bank, but I have not broken the bank in marketing my business. And these strategies are all the things that I have done over the course of keeping my business alive and running, me and my husband, and I get to share it with you. It's really kind of overwhelming. It's exciting. It's like, I get to exhale type of thing. So one last time here, go to bit.ly/unmarketbook, the capital U, capital N, capital M, market, and then capital B, book. So go there, get your book, and you'll get those bonuses. The ebook version will be sent to you for free. I'll give you a link for that, and then you'll also get the first 3 chapters absolutely free. So you can't miss out. Because in those first 3 chapters, you got some work to do. I promise you. It's not a whole lot of work, but it's enough to keep you busy because you're going to have to do it anyway. Whether you learn this stuff from me or from someone else, you're still going to have to do this work. And it was one of those things that I had to learn, that I had to do this work. I know I watch Iyanla Van Zant fix my life all the time, and she always says that she did her work. So you got to do your work in order to be successful. And so let's jump into these 7 steps to help your collaboration be successful. And why would you want to collaborate with someone anyway? Well, number one, the main reason is it's based off the theory or the thing that Napoleon Hill's book talks about, Think and Grow Rich, and the power of the mastermind. So I'm sure you've heard where it says that, two minds are better than one. Well, probably three minds are better than two, and four minds are better than three. So if you keep on going, depending on a manageable group, if you collaborate with others, because you just can't think of everything. You can't think of everything, you don't know everything, and you don't know how to do everything. So if you get the people, you just operate within your greatness, stay in your lane, do what you're supposed to do, and then the other people that know the other things that you want to do, you can collaborate with them, and you guys can get together and make greatness happen. Does that sound good? I think that sounds good, and that's what I've been doing with my business for the last plus 20 years. I've been collaborating, my husband and I have been collaborating with different business owners, different individuals, different people without breaking the bank. We either get into maybe a barter arrangement. Barter works really well if you do it right. Or we get into an agreement type situation, or we go into a joint venture type situation. So it just kind of depends. I've even, formed another company with some people, which is what I did with Write Books That Sell Now. My husband did another company with another gentleman. But, it always comes back to Creative Services International, or CSI. That's our main thing, our baby. So it always comes back to that. And really CSI is the entity that's forming this agreement or joint venture with the other people. So, you got to be careful about who you, quote, unquote, get in bed with. And so we're going to go into that. So we don't have a lot of time, so let me just go through these 7 steps. So the first step is to define the project. What are you actually trying to do? Do you want to maybe do a book, an anthology, where you see all these authors come together and they do an anthology? Or maybe you want to do a program sort of like what I did with Write Books That Sell Now, where each person has a defined role in what they do, and they kind of stay in their lane, do their thing, they come all together and, put the ingredients to the cake and make an awesome chocolate cake type of thing. So you need to figure out some things like, who does the project serve? What's needed to make this project happen, and what do you expect to get out of this project? Are you trying to make more money? Are you trying to get more eyeballs on you, introduce yourself to new audiences, introduce new audiences to you? So you need to figure out, just define the project, and that may take some time, but if you do these steps now, starting from the beginning to the end, the first one through the 7th one, I promise you, you won't be crying at the end. You'll be so happy, and you'll be writing me letters of thank you for taking this headache away from you. The second thing is you need to choose the right collaborators. Now, you can't collaborate with everybody, just like you can't get married to everybody. It just don't work. So you got to kind of vet people and see, what is their long-term goal? What do they want? If they want to make more money and you just want to get introduced into other audiences, it may or may not be a good fit for you or for them. You just got to get your goals out there and see what it is that you want. Do they have the skill sets that you are looking for, or do you guys do the same thing? If you guys do the exact same thing and you're coming together on a project, then is it going to help you or hurt you? You're going to think about that stuff. And you want to make sure that they're going to be focused on the end game of whatever you decide that this is going to be, and focused on the way that you lay things out. So choose the right collaborators. And as women, now I know men have this too, but women even more so, because we have that little sixth sense thing going on. If you get with someone, start talking to them, and you kind of feel like, this isn't quite going right, then you need to probably rethink that whole situation. I've had a couple of collaborative situations where in the beginning it sounded really, really good, but we never got past the goal point because it just was like, no, this is not going to work. And, of course, you can't always tell, just like you can't always tell with how a marriage is going to turn out, how it starts in the beginning. You never know what's going to happen down the line. So, it could be all roses and awesomeness when you first start, and then it end up crazy. So by following these steps, you try to weed out as much crazy as you can. All right, the third step is to devise a plan of action. So you figured out what the project is. You know who you're going to be working with. Now let's get a plan of action in place. are there different logistics? Is this going to be a physical thing that you're going to have at a certain place? Is it going to be a webinar and everybody's going to be in a different city or a different town or different location when you do it? How is the technology going to work? What system are you going to use? You need to decide who's going to do what, who's going to take care of what, and what processes and system rules you're going to have in place so that people don't step on each other's toes. If there is no vision, the people will fail. And it's not an exact quote from the Bible, but I know that it does exist. You got to have a vision. You got to have things kind of, mapped out in your head. And there's always someone in the group who is like super duper, like on time. I got to have all this stuff point by point by point breakdown. And then there's always another person who's like, I'll just go with the flow. I'll just do whatever. So can you actually work together? Yes, you can, because, you just have to know that if you have a deadline and if you set these deadlines that this person is going to do it this way and that person is going to do it that way, how are you guys going to come together? It can be done, I promise you. Okay, number 4 is to create and sign a formal agreement. Now this, I didn't put it as number 1, but it is definitely the most important thing, but all of these things are important, and you need to create and sign a formal agreement. You can go as far as to get a lawyer and have them draft up an agreement, but if it's something that you're coming together on and you don't even know if it's going to make any money, just go to the internet, search for a joint venture agreement, and use that. Just make sure that everybody reads it, everybody signs it, everybody agrees to it, because in the long run, it will save you so much time, effort, and tears, so you don't have to look at, I thought you said you were going to do this. No, but I'm supposed to be doing that, and you're doing this. It cuts out all of that. And it's going to take you some time to get together, these things that I've already said, who's doing what and what technology you're going to use, what's the outcome and all that. But all that needs to be formalized in the agreement. No one wants to think about a project or partnership going sideways, but it does happen. So you can avoid headaches and hassles over who is supposed to do what and when by putting an agreement in place at the very start of your collaborative project before you create or solidify any plans, before you start looking at venues or looking at who's going to pay for what or how much money you're going to dip out and start paying stuff. You need to sign that agreement, get copies for everyone, and make sure that that's all taken care of. All right, number 5 is to hold regular meetings and take notes. It does you no good at all to hold a meeting and then you leave the meeting and nobody knows what was said, because in that meeting you're going to have action steps. Sally needs to do this, John or Henry or Martha needs to do that, and they need to finish it by this certain time, and things need to be taken care of. But what happens is, because most likely this collaboration is not the only thing that you and your partners have on your plate. A lot of us are moms and wives and grandmoms, and, we have a life, we have other businesses, we have things that we're doing. So guess what happens? The stuff is going to get pushed under the table, shoved under the rug, and forgotten about until the next meeting. So you need to, have those meetings, have them on the calendar, take notes, and everyone needs to look at the notes and do what they're supposed to do. Now, if you get into this thing and you start having these meetings and you're having these, I'm supposed to do this, and no one does it, that is a sure red flag that this thing ain't going to work. It's not. So you need to reevaluate what's going on. And you can use different softwares like Zoom or Skype or even go to Webinar to use to do your meetings. Or, for lack of technology, a ROT, regular old telephone. Use that. It works just fine. So you need to keep these 3 points in mind when you get your meetings together. Have a start and an end time. Create an agenda and follow it, and then record it or take notes. If you can record it, because then people, even if they say, I don't want to go back and listen to it, it doesn't matter. At least it's recorded somewhere. You can put it up in the cloud. There's Dropbox. There's Amazon S3, or you can, store it so everyone can get a hold of it. Believe me, I'm telling you, this will just save you headaches. All right, number 6 is to use an online project management tool. Why? Because everyone can get access to this online thing, and they can see what's next, what's coming up, what they're supposed to be doing, how things are outlined. And I love Asana. Asana is a great project management tool. It's free. There is a paid level if you want to use that. But there's also Trello and there's Podio. And I think it's Podio, maybe Podio, but it's Podio, Podio. So all of these work similar. It just depends on which layout you like the best. And the functionalities are basically the same. They will email you the steps and the projects and what's due now and all that stuff. So you have to figure out who's going to update this stuff. And with these programs, usually each person, once you set it up, whoever sets it up, each person can go through and kind of update their own stuff. So once you have the meeting, you're taking the notes, maybe you record it or whatever, then the people go in, each person goes in and, they update their task. I did this, I'm getting ready to do this, I've followed up on this kind of thing. So it helps a lot. I'm telling you, I've done all this stuff. It does work, and it has helped my collaborations to be very successful. I mean, successful like making money successful. With Write Books That Sell Now, we collaborated for about maybe 8 months, planning everything together. And then our first webinar we did was a 5-figure webinar. Woohoo! It was awesome. So all that planning, all those meetings, all that, you stay in your lane type of stuff. What do I do? What do you do? And we're agreeing, having some serious talks and stuff. All that worked out so that we all make money off of it. So that was the end game. Not only did we make money, I got clients from it. Everyone got some clients from it. My status went up, and I got a book out of it because working with those two ladies, hey, my book is here. Awesome sauce, right? Okay, the final point I want to make is to assign responsibilities. You cannot leave this out. The strengths and skills of everyone involved are critical to your success and the success of the project. So everyone has to have a responsibility, maybe more than one, and each person has to know what those responsibilities are. It can't just rely on one person to do everything. Number one, that person is going to get burned out and nothing's going to get done. And what if they're doing everything and then that person decides to leave or they don't want to do this anymore? Then you're just up the creek without a paddle, because then no one knows how to get into anything. No one knows how to do the most important stuff that needed to be done. It's just a mess. So assign responsibilities to everyone and make sure that when you take those notes, you go through and you say, Sally's going to do this, Jane's going to do that, and Jed's going to do that. I'm just throwing out these names. So whatever comes to my head, that's what I'm saying. And you'll also need to think about, do you need managers? If it's a big, huge project like the LIFT conference that Renelli and Kim are doing, they started out as like when they first did it, it was a 1-day thing. It was a half-day seminar that they did, and the people liked it so much they're like, oh, we want more, and then it evolved into last year. They did the first full-fledged full-day conference, and now it's a 2-day conference. It's huge. So they have managers, they have teams, they have people who are just doing different things, and everybody knows what everybody's doing, or they're keeping it in line, because behind the scenes everything is stressful. It's just like when you're getting married, and you say, my groom is going to do this, my bridesmaids are going to do this, he's in charge of his groomsmen, and they're going to do that, and then you get down to the day that you're getting married, and it all goes crazy. It just all goes crazy because that's how things run. But having managers or a project manager or someone who's over certain areas, you can turn to them and say, hey, did this go right? Hey, what's this? Instead of you having to run to each individual person, because I'm telling you, that will drive you crazy. And in the end, it will all work out. But I just want you to look out for this craziness that can happen in the beginning. And if you follow these steps, like step 1, define the project. Step 2, choose the right collaborative partners. Number 3, devise a plan of action. Number 4, create and sign a formal agreement. Do not skip that. Number 5, hold regular meetings and take notes. Number 6, use an online project management tool. And number 7, assign responsibilities. If you do that, if you adhere to that, it it will all go swimmingly, I promise. And even the craziness at the very end, it will all work out. It'll all be okay, and you will all wind up still talking to each other at the end. That's a very important thing. The biggest payoff you'll see for your collaborative efforts comes when you see the money rolling in. Other side effects are enhanced visibility for your brand, more followers and subscribers, or additional business opportunities. Your collaborative project is an unmarketing strategy that you can't afford not to use. It is an unmarketing strategy that you can't afford not to use, but it is essential for your business growth. So there you go, my 7-step collaboration success strategy. If you put those points into place, I promise you, you will come out ahead. And the thing is, even if the collaboration is not a success, as in, it tanks before it gets going, or you don't make quite as much money as you thought you would, you'll have a blueprint to do it over and over again with probably the right partners instead of the wrong partners, and to do some other things a different way, because you're learning and growing all the time. You're always learning and growing. And that's just how it is, because nothing is certain. Life changes day to day to day, but you can be ahead of the game. So I want to encourage you again as we close out here to go to bit.ly/unmarketbook to look at the information that I have for you about the Unmarket Your Business book. I'm so happy about it. You started your business and you struggled longer than necessary, and finally you got your mojo going, you got the business up and running. Now it's time to step on the gas and grow. Now, this book contains the best marketing strategies to help you move your business from startup to stand out in less time than it took for you to get your business license. And you'll learn all those different marketing strategies that savvy business owners use to attract the right prospects and convert them into paying clients. If they can do it, so can you. So go to bit.ly/unmarketbook and get that book, get those bonuses, and I will be seeing you. We'll be back here again next week, next Thursday, and if at all possible, I would love to meet you in Philly. So go to liftconference2017.com and get your ticket now. So everyone out there, have a great weekend, and I will see you again next week. Thanks for listening. We truly appreciate it. For information about guests, products, or services that were mentioned in this episode, log on to our website at www.csicorporation.com/unmarketing. To learn more, get a glimpse of our upcoming schedule, and join the unmarketing nation of entrepreneurs who are using marketing techniques that work right now. Until next time, keep moving forward.